What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and today we're going to be checking out some NHL trade rumors from Spectres Hockey for February 18th, 2019. The NHL trade deadline is coming very soon. We're like a week away. It's craziness. Everybody's trying to get their deals done, so I figured I'm going to keep making these videos daily because there's new information coming out all the time. So, like always, the Spectres Hockey link is down below, so make sure to check that out, and let's get into the rumors. So, of course, something that I mentioned to you guys yesterday is that updates will continue to come regarding the Matt Duchene and Mark Stone situation. So apparently it does seem like the Senators are okay with putting Matt Duchene on the trade market. It seems like what I said yesterday, Stone is kind of the guy that Ottawa would like to hold on to if they can, although he could end up on the trade market. Darren Dreger, like I said yesterday, if you haven't seen the video, was saying that he thinks that Nashville and Columbus are teams that would be interested. We've also heard the Winnipeg Jets could be involved. Now, Dreger also reports that the Senators will soon make a decision about Mark Stone's future with the club, like I mentioned before. So, if Nashville's interested, Columbus is interested, and Winnipeg is interested, Matt Duchene could be the biggest name that could be moved, because we don't know if Panarin is going to get moved at the deadline. It's looking more towards that Columbus would rather keep him for now, unless something big happens. I'll get to that in a little bit, but you know, Columbus would rather keep him, and, you know, Bobrovsky's a goaltender. Simmons isn't really on Duchene's level, so it looks like Duchene, if teams are, you know, bidding against each other for Duchene, the Senators could get quite a big return on him. And if they decide that Stone maybe isn't going to work out as well, and Dzingel, we keep forgetting Ryan Dzingel is another guy, they could really bring in some good picks and prospects, and maybe even roster players, depending on what they want to do. So Bruce Gerrich from the Ottawa Sun reports it's believed at least 5 teams have interest in Duchene. So again, the bidding war would help there. It's expected that Senators general manager Pierre Dorion will step up efforts to move Duchene, Stone, and Ryan Dzingel if he can't get them to agree to new contracts. So Dzingel's been kind of quiet. Stone we've already talked about. Duchene we've already talked about. But the Winnipeg Jets apparently are interested in all 3 of them. They probably can't add all 3 of them, but you know, if they could get 2 or even just 1, that's good for the Ottawa Senators. Again, it's all about them bringing in as much as they can to kickstart what you would call a rebuild, especially if you got rid of all 3 of them. Next up is the Buffalo Sabres. Charlie Coyle could be a guy that the Sabres go after. With the Sabres in need of a depth center, Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News suggests that they could pursue Minnesota Wild center Charlie Coyle. He's under contract through next season with an affordable $3.2 million cap hit. While the loss of Wild captain Mikko Koivu seemingly puts a stop on trading Coyle, Harrington suggests that he could be had at a cost. That's a tricky sentence, of one of the Sabres' first-round draft picks. So I don't know if they'd really want to do that. Again, Coyle is pretty cheap. Get him for next year as well. He notes Wild GM Paul Fenton was given permission by team owner Craig Leopold to shake things up if it's necessary. The struggling Wild are clinging to the final wildcard spot in the Western Conference. So basically, a Spectres note here is saying that Harrington isn't saying that the Sabres are actively pursuing Coyle, but it's not a bad suggestion there. If the Wild seem to fall out of a playoff spot, if they think that maybe adding, you know, picks or a prospect, whatever they can get for Coyle, is a better option than keeping him and just trying to cling on to that spot, maybe they'll do that. I happen to think that if they are in the playoff mix, that they should just keep Coyle. I guess if he's affordable, why would you want to move him? But if they start to fall out here, again, we're very close to the trade deadline, so teams are going to have to start making a decision on whether or not they think that they're going to be buyers, sellers, or if they can afford to get rid of guys and still make it to the playoffs. This is going to be tricky for them. I think that, again, Coyle is pretty solid, and he would be a good depth fit for the Buffalo Sabres. So, alright, so some stuff here. Latest on the Blackhawks, Canucks, and Canadiens. From the Chicago Tribune, Jimmy Greenfield reports it's uncertain whether the Blackhawks will be sellers. at the trade deadline because they've been playing a little bit better. He believes there are 7 players that could be moved. Cam Ward, defenseman Gustav Forsling, Slater Cuckoo, and Carl Dahlstrom, centers Marcus Kruger and John Hayden, and forward Brandon Pierlini, who could be moved without giving the impression that they're giving up on the playoffs. Again, not very many big names, but you know, teams would want to at least take a flyer on some of those names. If somebody wants a depth piece in goal, Cam Ward could be there. They do have a lot of guys that could be traded. Brandon Pierlini seems to be a decent piece that could be traded as well. Vancouver, Ben Kuzma reports that GM Jim Benning basically talked about wanting to add another goal scorer to their team, but finding one is easier said than done. So he said, I'm not necessarily looking at rentals. If we're going to do trades, it's going to be players who can be pieces of the puzzle moving forward. So he's not interested in grabbing a rental player. He'd rather pick up a guy that can play this season and next season, and I think that makes sense for the Canucks. They're in no rush to they're in no shape to overdo it. They don't need to make a big move right now. They can at least play with the players that they have, and adding goal scoring to the Canucks would be ideal because they do have a lot of goaltending prospects and goalies that can play right now. They've got really good forwards, but they obviously need more depth, and adding another one would be good to go along with their young players. And their defense needs some work, but again, they have prospects kind of everywhere that could improve this team. I don't think that it makes sense for them to get rentals at this point. Rene Lavoie from he's done a lot of work with the Canadiens. With the trade deadline coming in a little more than a week, he was told that the chances are high that nothing much will happen for the Montreal Canadiens. So at this point, it looks like the Canadiens might not be doing anything, but we'll have to see what's coming up. But that's the latest rumors again from Spectors Hockey. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. Click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.